productivity, which is my love language. And the team at HAYVN knows that because I have been working with HAYVN on systems, processes, efficiencies, and strategy for the last year. I have a background spanning over 2 decades. And during that career, I have navigated the tumultuous seas of email overload, not just for myself, but for countless professionals eager to find sanctuary amidst the inbox chaos. So I've worked in university settings at Silicon Valley startups and with solopreneurs just starting out. My expertise in productivity strategies and digital organization has been honed through both personal experience. I am a ever evolving success story, always learning new things and needing to improve my habits, as well as professional success, guiding teams and individuals to achieve efficiency and focus. So today we're not just going to be talking about sorting emails, but we're talking about a system that will turn your inbox into a place of clarity, control, and yes, even love. So whether you are drowning in digital messages or you are struggling to find a better way to manage communication, and sorry, I'm just pulling the chat up so I can keep an eye on that. Or you are simply curious about how to enhance your productivity, you've come to the right place. Here's what a few folks have had to say about the stack method, which is the method we'll be talking about today. It has totally changed the way I work. The strategy unpicked 10.5 years of awful habits when it comes to email. The stack method has completely changed my life almost overnight. And the stack method is part productivity and part stress relief. Using this method has made email lose its power over me. And my inbox transformed from having thousands of emails to inbox 0 within the day. Having a fully optimized inbox greatly enhanced my day-to-day efficiency and effectiveness. So why prioritize email management? Most of us are acutely aware of the overwhelming nature of inboxes. It's a fast-paced professional environment that we're all living in, and technology is only making that more and more fast-paced. Our phones are general chaotic, always-on lives. The constant influx of emails might feel like this relentless wave, where we're being pushed to this constant state of reaction rather than proactive management. So this daily grind of trying to stay afloat in a sea of correspondence, where we have this really depressing, simple goal of, can I end the day with fewer unread emails than when I started? Does this sound like familiar territory to anybody? So an inbox can get so cluttered that important messages are missed, deadlines are forgotten, and stress levels skyrocket. So beneath that surface problem lies an issue we're aware of, but we avoid confronting. And that is that our relationship with email and with technology is fundamentally reactive. You might be accepting this state of constant connectivity as a given, but I'm here to say it doesn't have to be. That constant connectivity leads to fragmented focus, decreased productivity, and a sense of never ever truly being done with work. When we are talking about reactive versus proactive time, this email inbox is what we're seeing on the left here. Answering emails, handling inbound issues, going to meetings, reviewing work. Whereas proactive is when we're prioritizing, we're focusing on important tasks, we're reading, we're thinking, we're doing some self-care. This acceptance of the status quo on the left suggests that being busy is the same as being productive, a misconception that only fuels the cycle of inefficiency. It's a problem that we recognize on some level. We all sense it, we feel it, that adds to the stress, that recognition that there must be a better way, this doesn't feel good, but we're hesitant to address it. A lot of times we just accept, this is how the modern world operates. This is what everyone expects. This is what everyone else is doing. They must be better at managing this than I am. But what we're going to do is we're going to forget what everybody else thinks, and we are going to look for an effective email management strategy that aligns with broader goals and workflows. So when we look at our broader goals and workflows, we want email to be aligned with that and not driving that. It's not just dealing with an overflowing inbox. It's about the missed opportunities. When we focus on our inbox, we're missing opportunities for strategic thinking, relationship building, and meaningful work that's getting sidelined. We lose both time and the capacity to engage with our most critical tasks when we focus on reacting. The real problem isn't the volume of emails, but our approach to managing them, an approach that lacks intention, prioritization, and the tools to make our email work for us. Look at this lady. Felicia is a real life success story. We all know that Felicia is highly engaged in her community and spends a lot of time intentionally connecting people, collaborating, and problem solving. What you may not know is that this means she gets a lot of emails. A lot of emails. Her inbox is full of important details, meaningful conversations, and lots of urgent stuff that makes a whole lot of noise. Raise your hand if you have sent Felicia an email ever. You could open up her email and get in there, something I've done myself, spend time reacting to responding to things, and before you know it, half your day is gone. It could fly away. Using the stack method that I'm going to show you today, Felicia has been able to maintain her inbox in a way that feels more organized and less stressful. By organizing emails according to their action and having a clear-cut system, Felicia is able to prioritize the tasks, delegate more, and focus her time on the strategic thinking and projects that got her excited about HAYVN in the first place. So, are we ready to fall in love? Yes, right? Thumbs up. Okay, so what is email stacking? What is the stack method I'm talking about? It's a way to sort your email, manage your time, and turn your email into a tool rather than a nonstop communication channel. It can be set up in about 30 to 60 minutes, and it can be done in any email client, Outlook, Gmail, Apple, etc. It is a method designed not just to cope with the volume, but to transform your relationship with your inbox. The word stack comes from old school file systems. Imagine stacks of paper on your desk or stacks of clothes that you are going to give away. By categorizing emails into stacks, email stacking turns that chaotic wave, the sea of messages, into a structured landscape. It's about making your inbox work for you, aligning it with your work rhythms and priorities, thus reclaiming control of your digital communication. So we've got 3 pillars we're going to talk about, and then we can start stacking. We're going to talk about time management, categorization, and an action-based mindset. So categorization. First, we have to change the way the inbox and its folders look. We are going to organize your inbox using folders or labels. Those terms are interchangeable depending on the email client you use. Folders are labels that directly correspond to the actions required. These are actions: reply, do, meet, remind. You'll notice we aren't categorizing by sender. We aren't categorizing by topic. We are categorizing by action. So start by creating the specific action-based folders within your email client. I'm going to talk a little bit about these, and then we're going to jump into some examples. Reply. This folder is for emails that require a response from you. Prioritize this folder on additional criteria like urgency or the sender's importance. 2, do. Emails that entail a task or action other than replying go here. These might include requests for work to be completed, documents to be reviewed, or information to be processed. Oftentimes, these are tasks that take longer than 5 minutes and likely may need to be scheduled on your calendar. Meet. This folder for emails related to scheduling meetings or events. It keeps all of your actionable meeting requests in one place, that therefore making it easier to manage your calendar. For emails that do not require immediate action but need to be revisited at a later date, that's what the remind folder is for. These could be upcoming deadlines, future events, follow-ups. In this screenshot here of a Gmail inbox, you can see the folders here on the side with the numbers. These are the action folders. If an email doesn't need an action, it doesn't get a folder. It goes away. It gets archived. All right, let's jump into some examples. All right, reply. So this is an email from Angie to Leslie. Is Leslie here today? No. All right. Shout out to Leslie. Miss you. So this is an email from Angie to Leslie. Quick question on meeting location. Hey, Leslie, hope you're having a great day. Quick question for you. For our touch base tomorrow, are we meeting at HAYVN or grabbing coffee? I'm fine with whatever. Just want to make sure I head to the right place. Thanks for letting me know. Angie, you wrote such a great email. Good work. So Leslie's looking at this email. She's doing her email stacking, and she's putting this in reply because it is a quick answer. The answer is, hey, Angie, I booked Pear Tree. Let's have coffee at HAYVN. Can't wait to see you. So that is a reply. There's nothing to do. Here's an example of do. So this is an email from Felicia to Gina, asking Gina to update the Q2 financial forecast for HAYVN. We need to update these. Please look at the attached spreadsheet, ensure all the data is up to date. I need these by the end of February. Thank you. So Gina is going to put this in do because this is going to take longer than 5 minutes. Meet. This is an email from Felicia to everyone at Team HAYVN saying, let's have a meeting to get together and set the goals and milestones for our March Hatch event. Please reply all and let me know your availability for next week. So Malou sees this email and she puts it in her Meet folder so that she can handle that when she is doing the action-based activities related to Meet. So those are some examples. Now, I keep saying action-based. That is, so our pillar number 2 of the stack method is to adopt an action-based mindset. So instead of looking at your email as communication, look at the email as a task. You'll notice that we aren't categorizing by sender or topic. We're categorizing by action to make it easier for the tasks to be completed when the time is right. We're grouping the meet together so that when you're in the calendar mindset with the right technology, right? You've got maybe your paper family calendar at home. You've got the school flyer that just came home from your kid yesterday. You've got your phone, you've got your computer, and you've got your meet, and you could look at them all and bring all that noise together and batch handle the calendar stuff. So you're doing all of those calendar activities together. That's the action-based mindset. If there's no action to be found in the email, then archive it. You are adopting an action-based mindset. Maybe it's a newsletter you would love to read. Maybe you have an action folder that's read. You could put it there and put that time on your calendar to read it. Don't put it in one of these other folders though. That read pile, you know, that should be on your calendar. That is something that is proactive. Okay. Time management. All right. Decide. So after we've got this system set up, then we need to decide when and how often we are engaging with email. So I recommend a block of time at the beginning of the day or the end of the day to do your full stack process. That's the boring term for it, the stack process, but I like to think of it kind of like having coffee each morning with your partner or a drink at the end of the day. It's a time for intimacy, connecting, planning. We'll talk more about that in the last section. Beyond your dedicated time, you are basically ignoring your email. Your notifications are off. You're not opening the email app on your phone and hitting refresh just to see. You are ignoring your email. You are breaking the habit of always checking. Then decide how many times you will check. Make that decision. Be proactive. Say, okay, I'm going to have my stack process time 1 hour a day, and I'm going to check my email 2 other times. I'll check it before after I come back from lunch, and you figure out where it works in your day and make that commitment with yourself to that schedule. The check-ins then are brief, and you're only looking for urgent surprises. You're not taking action. All right, time blocking. So this is kind of what we were talking about just there. This approach then of managing your time encourages disciplined checking and handling of the emails at the set time, which will give you these sustained blocks then of focus time without the distraction of incoming messages and reacting. By batching email processing, individuals can significantly reduce the cognitive load and time lost to context switching and enhance overall productivity. All right, so it is go time. You've set up your categories, and now we're going to do go time. So the go time is a cute name for stack process. Here are some other cute names: stack power hour, inbox intimacy, inbox date, priority processing, or start the day ritual. Start the day ritual is what I use. I'm going to say go time in this chat. You've set it up, you've named it, you've set up your systems, you've got your time scheduled in your calendar. Here it is, we see it here. You'll notice that on Wednesday, we've got a focus block in the morning. And so we don't even do the start the day ritual till after that focus block is out of the way. So what is going to happen during this ritual? During go time, you are going to handle your inbox and feel on top of your time. The first thing you're going to do is quickly review all the items in the inbox with your action-based mindset. When you read an email, decide which action it requires. If it's during go time and you see that it can quickly be handled in less than 2 minutes with no additional time needed from you, do it. It is cool to, so for example, with that Leslie email, you could reply right then during go time and be like, see you there. Let's meet at HAYVN. If it takes longer than 2 minutes, maybe it takes 3 minutes because you also want to go into the member portal and book the Pear Tree room for your meeting. If it's going to take more than 2 minutes, you're going to drag it into the reply folder. So you are going to quickly handle the things that could quickly be handled. But anything that's not that quick, you drag into your action folders. Everything gets stacked into its action folder: reply, do, meet, remind, or archive. If it doesn't fall into any of those categories, no action from you is needed. So you're going into these folders. Then once you've reached inbox 0, you're going to head to your action folders. This is all still during go time. So you've got to inbox 0, you go to your action folders, and you start in one action folder. In the do folder, and then you're just going to start going through those emails and handling what you can. Usually in the do folder, you're going to have things that you're not going to be able to get done in go time. It might be, for example, that task where Gina has to do the Q2 forecasting. That might be a 4-hour project where she looks at last year, she looks at, the budget, she looks at the performance in Q1, she needs to have all her notifications off and her big finance brain on. That's the sort of thing then that needs to be scheduled in the calendar. So you see that in your do folder, and you pull up your calendar and you schedule when you are going to do that do thing, and you commit and protect that time. And part of protecting that time is estimating how long it will take. Of course, this is another opportunity to delegate as well. Is there something in the do folder that someone else should be doing? Forward that along with instructions, or follow the processes that might, the other tools that your team might be using. For emails that need to be delegated, and then after you forwarded it with those directions, you can file it away. Your action is complete. Now, remember, organizing your emails is a bit like sorting out a variety box of Valentine's Day chocolates. So I want you to remember this when you're in go time. Prioritize the ones you love, delegate the ones you don't to your friends, schedule some time for the special ones, and remind yourself not to indulge in too many at once. Unlike traditional email management, which often relies on sporadic checks and reactionary handling, email stacking offers a more structured and proactive approach. It turns the endless game of catching up into a strategic activity that enhances productivity rather than detracting from it. Stacking gives you a significant reduction in the time lost to email management. So you will be getting back more hours and being able to put those on high priority projects and tasks. This isn't just about clearing your inbox, it's about reclaiming your time and enhancing your productivity, leading to a more fulfilling and efficient work life. Beyond the tangible gains of time productivity, there are these mental and emotional benefits. The stress that comes from a disorganized inbox can be pervasive, affecting not just your work, but your overall sense of well-being. By implementing a structured system, you'll experience a decrease in stress levels replaced by a sense of control and mental clarity. Moreover, yes.
We have one question from Kate. It says,
yes,
it feels like the reply and me are similar. How do you suggest we distinguish them?
That's a great question, and I will get to that at the end. Moreover, this method naturally instills respect for your boundaries as colleagues and clients begin to notice and adapt to your efficient handling of communications. You'll find that efficient time management and clear boundaries not only give you back hours, but teach those around you to value your time and your workflow. The transformation from stress to a state of calm is not just possible, it's within reach, and giving you a clearer mind and more productive, satisfying work life. Now, these are just a few of the tips, and there's a lot of nuance, which we're gonna talk about a little bit more in Q&A. And you can take from these tips what feels right and implement it for you. If you are feeling excited and hungry for more and like this might be the answer, then this comes from a course. It's a free course called Stack Method. It's stackmethod.com. It's totally free online. You don't even have to put your email address in. Like on this website, there's a bunch of videos. It's about an hour of videos and then I think 30 minutes of implementation. And I don't have any affiliation with them. I don't get any kickbacks. I just have found that it works and I've helped my clients implement it in their businesses and their inboxes. In the step-by-step instructions, they have instructions for each different email client. And then there's bonus sections too on stuff we didn't get into, like how to use email rules, how to use special archive folders, how to manage a bunch of emails that are about a specific event or project. So there's a lot more there at stackmethod.com. And then I'm going to get to Katarina's question. So the question is, it feels like reply and meet are similar. How do you suggest we distinguish them? So part of the reason why they feel similar is because my example was about a meeting. But a reply, so in that situation, it was a quick question about a meeting that had already been scheduled. I do think that were I to write these slides again, I would pick a different example so that there wouldn't be that confusion. But if I were looking at it myself and getting that email, I would know we already talked about this plan. She just needs a reminder. So that's why it would be a quick response. However, it is generally something that you can answer without having to do any other work. So the general rule in the Stack Method course is if it takes less than 5 minutes, if it's a reply that takes less than 5 minutes, it goes in reply. If it's a reply that takes more than 5 minutes, it goes in due. That's like the general rule, but you also end up, as you get more adept and as you watch the courses, you end up coming up with action folders that fit your particular workflow. So some people also have a folder called pay, and that's where they're going to put invoices to process and stuff like that. Other folks don't have that specific need. I don't have a reply folder at all because I use a project management tool and make tasks from my emails. So pretty much everything in the inbox left over is a reply. And so then my folders are more specific to that nature. So there's a bunch of different ways to build it that works for your workflow. The most important part is the action-based mindset and the time blocking. Other questions? Felicia, would you like to share a testimonial?
Sure. I love it. Like, I watched that video and got so excited about this. You know, it's kind of like figuring out how to do laundry every day. Because that's what my email is kind of like just doing laundry. And I would highly recommend watching that. And then now and you guys can give testimony too, because I've made our team also go on it, right?
Yeah.
So how's that going for you?
It works well because you're able to clean out your inbox and you don't have like a hectic day. You have a hectic day and you're like, well, I still have to look at my email. So it helps to be able to prioritize what you need to look at during the day versus I need to respond to all these emails and maybe some of them are junk, or maybe they're just a quick reply, or maybe just an FYI. So it does help to be able to create that, like she said, I can sit down during the day and this is the time that I have, and you have enough time to reply to whatever you need to reply, or a to-do list.
And I think before you came on, we had, like, there would be 1,000 emails in the email box. So every time you looked online at the emails, you just kind of look at this huge list. But it was almost like, okay, we just cleaned it and put it into the like put everything into archive and then just started using the system. And now, like, we know exactly what we have to do. It's creating the day.
I have a question. What about a conversation? What about threads to emails? Are they automatically filed then? If
So
the first one was filed?
So if a new message, so if you have your email thread set up to group threads, because that's an option on some platforms and automatic on others. If you have it set up to group thread and a new message comes in the thread, it will come to your main inbox unless you've set up a rule specifically to that type of thing. So you won't miss the new info, which is nice too, because if you send your reply and your action is done, you want to archive that, unless you are, unless there's something, you know, deadline specific or anxious about it, and then you'd put it in your remind folder, you know, if it's that person who never writes back.
And actually that, I think, was the best thing. This, I don't know if your guys have it, but in mine, I have rules now for certain things. So they just go right into the rule, and then I can look at that folder when I feel like, instead of it filling up my inbox. So
yeah,
Abigail
one of the
took over.
tips, one of the tips in the course has to do with doing rules about when you're CC'd on an email, because almost always when you are CC'd or BCC'd on an email, there is no action for you to take. That's like the entire point of the CC, right? And so it can just go into a like FYI action where you have to read it and know about it, but no other action is needed. And so it can skip your inbox entirely. It's sitting there and you will see it when you do your go time. And you will do it last after you do your quick replies and the stuff that, you know, is needing your best self. Any other questions?
Abigail, I have a quick question. Do you have any pointers on how to just clean up all the junk that comes in? It's just like every day it's a plethora of just spam.
Yes.
I unsubscribe. But to sit there and unsubscribe, it's like it's so time consuming.
Yes. So part of the trick is committing to, and this comes back to time blocking, choosing a time where you're going to get serious about the unsubscribes. And say, instead of reacting, right? Because what you're doing right now is you're like, every day I hit unsubscribe, and then somehow the next day, well, we're all email senders. We know that everyone has a different schedule they send their newsletter on. They have different types of newsletter lists. So when you unsubscribe, sometimes you only unsubscribe from one of them. There's all these sneaky ways that are happening. And our email clients are trying to make it easier for us, but oftentimes that unsubscribe button appearing there also puts us back in reaction mode. So I would say that if you can't pick, like, you know, a Saturday afternoon in front of the TV, this is how I like to do it, where I'm like, this is going to be my weekend work. It doesn't require my big brain, but it does require some time. Then you kind of do that as weekend work, and you sit there and there are different, if you, I forget what the Google search term is, but there's basically a way in your email to be like, show me anything that was sent bulk. And so you can get that and then use that to go through and unsubscribe. You can also delegate. So this is sometimes what people will use a virtual assistant for, if they need a fresh start. So, hey, can you set up this system for me and get rid of all the noise? You can also, and then the third way is there's a tool called Unroll Me, which is, and I'll put that, Unroll Me. I'm going to put it in the chat. And it's like a plugin. It's a plugin for Google Mail. I don't know if it works for other email clients, but you give it access to your email and it helps you do this unsubscribing. And then if there are newsletters you want to keep, it will set up the rules so that they skip the inbox and go into a digest instead. And so you can get a weekly digest of the newsletters you want.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah.
Unroll Me, and I don't know if they've changed this since I did the research, but they were free, which meant they sell your address and then you get more spam. So what I've been using and telling my clients to use, which does cost a little money, is Maelstrom, MAILSTROM.com, because now you're paying, they're not selling your information.
Yeah.
And I saw
And
a
that's
significant dive in my spam when I switched providers.
Yeah. And that's a general rule with all free software. Know that you are opening yourself up. So there are a lot of different plugins you can get too. Some are free, some are paid, that will sit in, like if you use Google Mail, this is where there's a lot of them, and it'll sit in your mail and help with this and give you fancier rules and fancier filters. And usually they are selling your data. There is consumer protection around whether they can sell your address. So just, be aware of those things. And, with using tools like this, there is always privacy concerns. Katarina asks, is there a good and simple way to do this for Gmail? Are there tags or rules? Yes. So Gmail, you can set up filters, and then you can set up rules around the filters. And you can, if you're looking at a message in either Outlook or Gmail, you can basically, there's like a little 3-dot menu, and you can say, create a rule for emails like this, and it'll help you set up that rule. So that's another thing you can do when you're kind of doing that Saturday afternoon TV work. And then in Gmail that you can use, there are folders. The folders, I guess they're called labels, but they work like folders, and you can have things in multiple labels, which is a nice to have. Andrea asks, does it automatically sync with phone and computer? Yes, especially depending on what softwares you're using. And Felicia and I have tested this a lot because Felicia uses different software on different parts of her technology. And yes, the folders sync. So her folder, she has Outlook email. She's got folders set up and rules set up in Outlook. On her phone, she has Apple Mail, and she sees all the folders there and can, though she shouldn't because this isn't go time, but she could put emails into stacks sitting on her phone.
Thank you, Abigail. That's very helpful.